to the thought. And I had my stigmas towards gay people, like, lesbians. Like, I wouldn't say hate or anything like that. It wasn't like a dislike, but it just seemed like everyone else was kind of against it, and so I was just kind of in on it, really.
In what way, if any, does your sexuality define or shape who you are as a person?
I guess it depends on what you mean by sexuality, I suppose. Like, so
Who you go to bed with. I mean, let's say romantic and sexual,
Oh, it's so weird. It's like who you are. So I'm bisexual, and then there's like how that manifests and how you decide to act on it, which I think are like two layers of like sexuality, right? Like I've been in open relationships in the past, and I was in kind of like the poly community for a little while in London, and it was great. Like it was great.
Well, I have a friend who's poly and is like ludicrously happy about it. And
it's delightful. Like it's like so nice. It's like so freeing, and you can kind of just do what you want, and and the thing is what's really important, like what was like so eye-opening for me about it was like you had all of these conversations about boundaries, like of consent and what is okay and what's not okay, and are you happy, and like nothing was ever assumed.
Yeah, you always know you're on the same page.
Yeah, exactly, and people would check in, and like it was nice because you kind of like completely liberated from this framework that you're usually in, and you're more central in that dynamic than people think you are. Like people think, oh well, if you have to share, then you're not cared about as much, or they don't love you as much, and it's like, no, you're actually like your well-being is being taken care of so much more.
Yeah.
In generally speaking, like I know in like some monogamous relationships, I am currently in a monogamous relationship and it's wonderful. I feel like that's important to include.
Yeah.
But obviously, like while you're in it and while you're with those people and you're in that community, it's nice. And then you kind of get outside, you step out of that bubble, and other people have really fixed ideas of how you should be behaving sexually, and there's a lot of like slut shaming and prude shaming.
Yeah, people do get really het up about non-monogamous relationships, which are happy and not problematic. It's something in their head just goes, what? This can't be.
Yeah, I know. And I'm just like, it's always baffled me. And also it kind of like ties back to what we were saying earlier. It's like, just step off. Like it's not hurting you. And yeah, I don't know, being in that, like everyone's like so afraid of like the degradation of society because of this like way of having relationships and love and sex, and it's like, stop being so restrictive. I had an ex-boyfriend who I was like, maybe we should try an open relationship, and he was like, no, that would make you really unhappy. And like he just had this like really fixed idea of what I would want and what I should want, that like eventually it all fell apart because he just could not get his head around the idea that I would want something different. I'm sort of getting tired of people telling me what I want and what I know and how I feel.
I think it defines a lot of people that I know. I think being of the LGBTQI community can define a person because of, not because they want it to, but because of how the world perceives them, and so it allows them, it then becomes like they sort of have no choice but to advocate it and to embrace it, actually, just to be proud of that identity. For myself, as a heterosexual woman, I've never had to use it as an identification thing because it's not considered the other, and so I've never felt like I've had to overcompensate for not being, lesbian or anything like that. Do you feel like your sexuality defines you?
I don't feel that my sexuality defines me. I think it's part of me, but I don't go up and introduce myself and say, "Oh, hi, I'm gay." I don't think it's a big deal. Sure, it is for a lot of people, and it's easier being gay than it might be for being trans or one of the other categories, as it were. No, I don't think it defines me personally. I think other people feel that it does for them. My experience of the LGBT community has been mixed. There's bits that I really love, that I feel proud of to be part of my life. There's other bits where I'm not too sure on. But in general, yeah, I'm quite pleased and quite proud to be part of the community. I think the community as a whole are quite supportive of each other, because it can be quite isolating, literally, to be the only gay in the village. But as all communities, it's got a few chinks in its armour.
Like, I can remember when I was younger and I was coming out of secondary school, and it was a lot to do with the friends that I was with and how I'd grown up, and like just doing the most really to fit in, just being young, I guess. I was just naive to the thought, and I had my stigmas towards gay people, or like, lesbians. Like, I wouldn't say hate or anything like that. It wasn't like a dislike, but it just seemed like everyone else was kind of against it, and so I was just kind of in on it really. But then it was only when I went to a performing arts school, and then I'm engaging with people that are gay, or like or trans, or like and so like I'm realizing that they're just human, just like us. They have feelings, they have emotions, and like, but they're just going about them in a different way. And so I just learned. I just got woken really. I just took my own, I guess, hate and all that kind of like jargon that I was like being kind of taught, and like from friends and stuff, and all that input, and just kind of like dispelled it. And then I think, yeah, it doesn't even matter. It honestly doesn't even matter. I'll be out partying, and like most of the time gay people are much more like entertaining anyway, like to go out with. But like us straights are kind of boring sometimes. And so like, people, it's true, like, and so, but as long as like, you're just honest, I'm out there, I'll have gay guys come up to me like, oh man, you're so beautiful, and I'm like, thank you. But and I'll say I'm straight, but like, they know I can still go out there and party and feel comfortable and do my thing. But like, there's a lot of people out there that are still kind of getting to grips with that, or have some notion behind it. I don't know what it is that are like stopping people, but I think it's obviously the way people have been raised, and obviously religion as well, and how they kind of perceive that. And so I still feel like there's still a long way for until like you guys are kind of seen as equals.
I actually think society's doing pretty well. Like I came out 4 years ago, and to be honest, I haven't faced any, in normal secular life, I haven't faced any barriers at all. I mean, I suppose it depends where you are. So like, you mentioned there, being out and a guy, saying, oh, you're really beautiful or whatever. In America, people still take a defense called gay panic. I don't know if you've heard of this.
Oh, wow.
Well, basically, you could claim that you murdered someone because they came onto you and you panicked because you weren't gay and they were, and you killed them. So yeah, we live in a world where there is a lot of work to be done.
Yeah.
But okay, I'm gay, but I don't feel like that makes me any different to you. Like, yeah, okay, you're going to encounter a lot of gay men who might be quite camp or effeminate, and that's fine. Or you might meet some lesbians who are quite butch, and that might be quite different to something you've experienced before. But there are plenty of masculine gay men, or feminine, in inverted commas, whatever that means, lesbians or whatever, who can kind of just slip under the radar and just get on with life and not have to encounter any of those prejudices. But yeah, I feel like society's doing, we're doing all right.
Yeah.
We're doing all right.